There's Synth Drones. Today we're going to be talking about Roland and what they might be planning. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone, and this is my channel where I talk about synthesizers. So if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button, tap that bell to keep up with all of my synth adventures. Now, I don't know what Roland is going to do, so if you're looking for a video with a crystal ball in it, this is not it. However, I would love to see Roland, and I'm just going to cut right to the chase here, come out with a Jupiter 16. Roland has to redeem itself. Roland has come out with some really awesome digital products in the last year. Now, wait a minute, before you start throwing tomatoes and other fruits and veggies, hear me out. The TR8, fantastic emulation of the classic analog 808s, 909s, you get the picture. They did a great job. I don't think anybody that owns one of these machines can argue. I certainly do like the simplicity and workflow. Fantastic. Hats off to Roland. But let's get to the Juno and the Jupiter remakes in their little miniature boutique line. Very, very sad attempt to take a classic set of synthesizers such as the Juno, such as the Jupiter 8, okay, and I'm only mentioning those two because really those are iconic synthesizers. I know that you just can't do these machines justice by throwing them into the digital world and then giving you 4 notes of poly. I just don't get it. Roland, you had an opportunity to really bust out with these machines. But with that being said, I understand that they wanted to make room, and they did so for their other machine, System 8. Now, why am I sighing? Because in some of my videos, I have mentioned that synthesizer companies are on this roll about recycling their technology, recycling their ideas, their machines. Now, you guys know that when you make a little box that's 4-note poly, and then you make a bigger box that's 8-note poly, 1, you're being stingy with the poly. 2, you're milking the customer. Okay? I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Now, I know a little bit about milking the customer, okay? Because I worked for a gaming company where I was the lead programmer and lead designer on projects. And all I ever heard was, let's take this game engine and make something else with it. We'll get it done at 1/3 the cost and twice the speed. Now, I understand why they're doing this. It's a business decision. Not knocking Roland in any way, shape, or form. I think they came out with a great idea with the drum machines. I think that their JDXA is an absolute fantastic marriage of digital meets analog. But if they're going to stay relevant in the synth drone world for people like you and I, they're going to have to step up their A game, because Behringer is going to take the lead in the synth world of marketing. They are going to own 2019 if and when they pull off these clones. Now, I'm assuming that these clones are going to be rolling out for 2019. You might even see a few of them hit the market in 2020. I'm only guessing. I don't have any inside information. Behringer, if you're listening, call me. With that being said, Roland has to really step it up, because if they don't, not only will Behringer take the lead, but you're going to have other synth companies who are listening to us Synth Drones that are going to be following suit. Why not? They're seeing it work for Behringer. Now, Roland has a lot going for it because it does have some really good sounding machines. It just depends on what you're looking for. And it is my guess that Roland is not trying to appease the analog synthesists. or synth drones like you and I. Now, nothing against digital synthesizers because I own quite a few of them and I love digital synthesizers. I also love analog synthesizers. There's something about the two that when you put them together in a studio, well, it's like, I don't know, vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup. It's great stuff. And Roland did a really good job with the JDXA, like I mentioned earlier. But they got to come out with something else, and I'm hoping it's going to be a Jupiter 16. I'm hoping that it's going to be an all-analog monster. Now, they came out with a Jupiter 80 and it was all digital, and what I couldn't understand about it was that I haven't played it, and I know that it sounds really great because I've listened to some demos on it, but where is the tweakability? Where are all the controls and the knobs? Roland, you had an opportunity here to take your digital synthesizer engine and put it into a box such as the System 8. Oh, wait. I guess that's what you did. Milking the customer. I got to remember that. So you see my point that I'm making here. Now, please, don't get the idea that I'm beating up on Roland because I have a lot of Roland products, new and old. I love the guys. And they've been very good to me. Their tech support is off the chart. Love you guys. This video is really to say, we still believe in you, Roland. We still believe that you can pull out a monster synthesizer. We're waiting for it, and we're waiting for it at a price point that we can afford it. We're not all super rich over here. And even if we were, we're not wasteful with our money. Now, we know Roland can pull out analog because they did it with their SE02 and they did it with their JDXA. They even did it with a JDXI. Okay, so we know they still understand analog. So why aren't they doing it? And I think it's because they have a market in the digital world. But that market's going to shrink this coming year. If Roland doesn't do something and do something radical to change the mind, they're going to end up, okay guys, don't hate me for this, but they're going to end up like Casio. And Casio, can you name one or two good synths that came from Casio? Because I can. But out of all the products that they've ever made, I can only name about 2 of them. Now, that wouldn't be the case with Roland because they obviously have a lot in their past that you can name, and they do have some great stuff right now. But if they continue in this digital world, they're going to start sounding like software plugins. Sorry, guys, I know I don't want to pit anybody against hardware versus software, but I think Synth Drones, you can understand that software has its place, but we're talking about hardware right now, and Roland is a hardware synthesizer company. And what are they doing? They're selling plugins. And their gear is going to be sounding like plugins. And Synth Drones like you and I, we're going to be going for the hardware. There is a characteristic difference. I'm not saying either one is better. I'm just saying there is a difference between the two. And I prefer hardware. But that's enough of my speculation. What is your speculation? What do you think that Roland is going to pull out to compete with not just, now listen, not just Behringer, but Electron, Arturia, Novation, Waldorf, just to name a few? What do you think they're going to do to counter this competition? Because there was once a movie, and in this movie there was a famous line. It said, "There can be only one." Well, we know that there can be more than one synth company. But there can only be one king. There's no room for second in the synth world. I'm just being over dramatic, guys. Share your comments below. I love all of you. Thanks for supporting me here. Head on over to patreon.com/pureambientdrone to support me over there as well. And until next time, keep calm and synth on.